Welcome to tonight's episode of Coach's Corner, everyone. As always, I'm Rick Russell alongside head coach Jonathan Calder. Tonight we're going to talk about our upcoming game tomorrow evening against the Cameron Dragons. We'll have one Seminole player on board with us this evening. And Coach, before we dive into that, talk a little bit about the Toronto game. A dynamite quarter and a half, even 2 quarters. We played great, looked good, despite that long road trip up there on that school bus. Halftime, I was pretty pumped up. We moved the ball through the air, had some things going our way defensively, and they were ranked in the region. Pretty good football team, beat some quality football teams, and I felt good at halftime.
Yeah, honestly, I think 3 quarters. I think we played 3 pretty good quarters, even the 4th quarter there. But our 3rd quarter kind of our story all year. Play some good football and then some mistakes here and there, or just let them have drives and let them get chunk yards. It wasn't huge plays, but 5, 6, 7, 8 yards at a time, which you just can't have that. And I thought that's really what hurt us out of that game was that 3rd quarter. But yeah, we come in. And WTV9 asked me what the keys to victory were that I thought for us. And I said control the line of scrimmage on offense and limit big plays, which I don't think we did either one of those, honestly. Big plays wasn't too bad. They had in the first half, that's kind of how they scored that big play. And it was kind of a mistake on our part. But 2 of the safeties were on one side of the field, didn't have a deep safety in the middle. So, just like I said, some mental mistakes. And then obviously the big play towards the end, we block a field goal.
Yeah.
We set up the timeout, exactly works out. And Corbin actually kind of ran past the ball, hit him in the shoulder, goes straight up in there, catches it, and the kid runs in for a touchdown. It's probably 1 in a million type of play, but it was a big play. It was a big play. If they don't score right there, if we block that, maybe return it or whatever, we're only down by 1 score when that happens. It was tied up when that happened. It was tied up when that happened. So, we didn't limit the big plays, some mental mistakes. But yeah, we came in, and like you mentioned, great first half. Couldn't run the ball, but they loaded up the box. They were, cover 0, which means they didn't have any safeties. It was all man. So there's no point in trying to beat your head into the wall, running to a ball if they're loading the box. So we started throwing around, and it worked. Cooper had 260 yards passing, 2 touchdowns. Max Stenchak had just one of the best games I've seen, honestly. Corbin had a couple of catches, but if they're going to load the box up, we're going to throw the ball. So that was working for us. But even after we got down a little bit, after the block field goal, our kids still didn't quit. They still pulled it within a touchdown. Even till the very end, we're fighting. This team just doesn't give up. It's a nice, tight-knit group, and they believe in each other, have each other's backs, and we figured that out this year, that they don't give up. It doesn't matter the situation, the score, they're going to keep fighting till the end.
Yeah, and that's kind of the question I'm going to ask Ashton when he comes on the show here is, that's one thing I've noticed, started out 1-4, a lot of teams would have folded at that point. We got reeled off 2 wins, and now we sit at 3 and 5 and 2 winnable games left on our schedule. But these kids have never given up. It's kind of like they've had each other's back, despite that 1-4 start. So it's pretty impressive. Like I said before, Coach, it takes a special kid to be in this locker room, and if it didn't, this locker room would be full both sides. So these kids are great. They know what they're here to do. It's a family, and they get it.
They do. Yeah, you mentioned this locker room. You spend so much time in here. You become a family. It's hard not to, really. You had to have some kids just didn't like each other if you didn't become a family. So, you might not have the same background. You might not have the same, family life, anything. But when you're in here, they're one big family, and it sure shows. I think it shows. Like I said. There's been moments where this team definitely could have given up and things like that, but they don't.
Yeah. You mentioned Cooper's 260 yards. I think it was 16 of 20. 260 yards and 1 interception. So great completion percentage. You know, it was just the 34 yards rushing that kind of held us back. But then you look back last week, we ran for 233 yards. So
yeah, and like I said, you know, that's kind of, you know, wasn't our game plan going in. Some of those negative yards were sacks and things like, I'm not gonna get into all that, but you know, we had a little bit more rushing on actual rushing attempts. The thing is, we just weren't in those situations. You know, in the first half, the pass was there, why not take it? Second half, we kind of got behind and we still had a pass type of thing. So it was just more situational things. Do I think we could have ran it more if we would have just ran the ball? I think we could have, because, you know, and I'll mention another thing about not giving up. We had a 4th down stop in the beginning. It was 4th and 1, we stopped and got the ball. That was, we scored right after that. Well, then, goal line, it's 1st and goal from the 1. We stopped them 4 times, get the ball, and that's what we did, drive the ball, running the ball about 40 yards. But then you can take another goal line stand when we blocked that field goal. I mean, they had the ball down about, I think, on the 3-yard line, 4 plays and couldn't get it in. And then, you know, they had the blocked field goal. And that's the kind of kids these are. I mean, they're just not going to give up. So, no, I thought it was, I didn't know how that game was going to go because, like you mentioned, they're a pretty good football team. But our kids came to play, that's for sure.
yeah, and it's like we're that far away. You know what I mean?
Trust me.
That far.
Yeah.
Things coming together and us being a great football team with a great record.
Yeah.
But these kids, like I said, they're not going to give up until they get there.
Yeah.
To that point, it'd be great to have 4 more regular season football games and just see where that goes.
Yep.
Yeah, but that's the way high school football seasons go. You got 10 that are guaranteed.
That's right.
We've got our final 2 left. All right, Coach, let's take a break. And when we return, we'll be back with our first guest, our only guest, Ashton Lumbass. Welcome back to the show, everyone. We're here with our first and only guest this evening, number 77, Ashton Lumbass. Ashton, welcome to the show, bud.
Well, thanks for having me.
She's a veteran. You've been on here before.
Okay.
Right? So it'd be nice and smooth.
Hopefully.
All right, buddy. Listen, you had a pretty busy summer leading up to conditioning in 2 days. You spent a lot of time on the road at a couple of different football camps. What camps did you attend, and what'd you get from all that?
My first camp was in May, and it was a showcase camp up in Westerville at the high school field. There's, I think, 6 different colleges there, all Division III, Division II. And it's just pretty much show what you got, get a little bit more skill. And then my second camp was at EIU, Eastern Illinois University. That was a prospect camp. They invited me out, and it was just see what I could do, see what I could improve on. And then I made a connection with their defensive line coach. I got his number. I could send film to him whenever I want to. He said, see what I need to improve on, see what he likes.
Good. Sounds like you made some pretty good connections. What's your plans moving forward? I'm sure you got some more camps planned.
Yeah, I got my first one December 20th. It's in Cleveland. It's another showcase camp, and then after that, I just schedule more.
Never heard of camping, especially in Cleveland in the wintertime.
It must be indoors.
Hopefully it's in. For sure. Listen, but I know you've been fighting an injury with your foot, kind of set you back, seeing a boot occasionally, and then, Coach hasn't got to play as much as he'd like to, especially offensively. Kind of in and out. How's that thing feeling for you?
Well, it's gotten better, and then it got worse about a few weeks ago, and I couldn't put weight on my heel. And then Coach Finn got me into the Dr. Cooper's office, and then I got an injection before the Shenandoah game the day before, and he didn't play me much because he didn't really need me.
Yeah, we had a couple guys step up in that game and kind of cover their spot. They did a really good job. They need that experience too, because especially Jared Seaball, he's probably going to get a chance to be a mainstay here next year on the offensive line for service. So I know it's been difficult for you because you know, you are a really talented kid, and this year's just kind of been a setback for you a tiny bit, so I'm sure it's been very difficult.
Oh, yeah, it has.
Now, last week at Toronto, and Coach and I talked about this a little bit earlier, we struggled all year long running the ball, and last week was really no different. Ran the ball 19 times for only 34 yards, but 2 weeks ago, we put together a great game plan, and things come together. We ran for 233. Of course, there was some talent difference in the two teams, of course, as well. And I guess one great thing is, you know, we gave Coop plenty of time last week, and he ended up throwing for 260 yards and a few touchdowns there to Max. Great performance, and he had some time to throw. I mean, he had a scramble occasionally to get out of the pocket, but explain what made running the ball against Toronto so difficult. I know they had some big kids. That nose guard was probably the biggest kid we played against all year.
Yeah, it's him, and then they stunt at us. We wouldn't really know who to block, and then when they brought the sent the box, we didn't know who to block either. Because I guess we really never went over how to block when you got six or seven guys coming. But it's just no different than blocking a 5-man front. You got to get the lineman moving first, and that's not what we did. That's what we struggled with all year.
Well, I'm sure Cameron's probably watched a little film, and we may be back up against that tomorrow night against the Dragons for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Now, last week defensively was probably one of your better weeks. You finished with 11 tackles, and I noticed Coach Shoemaker was moving you around quite a bit. You know, they break the huddle, and he'd move you from the left side to the right side, or right side to the left side, and that helped us tremendously. They ran the ball 46 times. I had a total of 57 plays, but 46 times they ran the ball. And of those 57 plays, you were on 25% of those tackles. So that's pretty impressive. What was working for you out there last Friday?
Really just using the hands, staying low, getting good leverage, firing off the ball. And Coach Shoemaker put me against their best lineman, probably their best player. And he wanted to see what I could do against them. I think I proved myself to what I can do and what I'm able to do.
Good. I hope you're back to 100%. I really am. I enjoyed watching the last couple of years for sure. I feel for you, fighting this injury this year. Now, you probably know this, and I'm one of your biggest critics. You stop by the house occasionally in the summertime and what have you, and I try to push you a little bit and lead you in the right direction. And I guess I treat you a lot like I do my nephew Brady Semper. I can kind of talk to him one-on-one and be a little unfiltered, kind of give my true opinion. And, but I hope that helps you. Despite this 3-5 start, Ashton, this isn't where we want to be. No one in this locker room wants to be where we're at.
No.
But it seems to me like, this team's growing stronger throughout the season, despite the record. And I think, everybody's got each other's back. And I don't know if you guys can tell it in here, Coach, if you can tell it, but I can see it on the sidelines. This team's never really given up, despite the record. And, we have a favorable matchup tomorrow night, and of course, in Week 10 against Shadyside, we'll have to do well there as well. But as far as this team growing stronger, what do you see in this locker room from your teammates?
Really, that we just stay behind each other and we push each other the best we can. When someone messes up, we try and teach them and make them better.
Yeah, and I've said this numerous times on the shows. We've got some young kids stepping in for the first time. We've got some inexperienced guys on the roster that have never played football before. And I've used Braden Baker 1,000 times. He's a great example. He's got great leadership from you as well. And these freshmen that have stepped up, and they can't do that kind of on their own. They need direction from teammates, and I think you guys do one heck of a job at that for sure. Tomorrow night, football alumni weekend in town. It's going to be a big event. We're honoring the 1975 team, the 95 teams. This place will be packed, as it is every year. So there'll be a lot of people here watching the game. So what can they expect tomorrow night against Cameron?
really that we're just gonna put on a show, and we're gonna play it probably the best we played all year, because we've been building up to that all year. Since Barnesville, we've been getting a little better every week, and last week that really showed against Toronto. Because we put together almost a full football game.
Yeah.
I think this week we're going to put together 4 quarters of football.
Yeah, I hope you're right there. It's a great game plan. We've got a great start against Toronto, no doubt, and things were looking great. Just they kind of got the ball rolling a little bit, and you know, I guess the impressive thing about Toronto is they didn't really have any big plays, but they had just little plays here and there. Just kept moving the ball, eating up the clock. We did a great job hanging in there. You know, like I said, never gave up. Coach, you got anything to add on Ashton?
Yeah, I mean, you know, obviously, since his freshman year, he's been starting. You know, we as coaches and fans, and I think everybody sees the potential there, you know, for what a great player he is and can be. This year, I've been proud of him. Like when we first started, he mentioned the camps. You know, going to camps, wanting to get better. He even came to us coaches and talked about things he could do. Conditioning 2 days, I mean, he's hyping these guys up, pushing himself, he's first in everything. So I'm like thinking, man, this kid, he's going to dominate this year. You know, he's going to dominate. Because that's one thing, if I could say anything about Ashton, maybe his freshman, sophomore year, he just didn't have it wasn't 100% motor all the time.
Yeah,
you know?
he's always been a quiet kid.
Yeah. So this, he's pushing people, you know, everything. And then he gets injured. You know, and you feel so bad for him because of that. Because he's giving basically everything he has, and it comes down to that. So you can see him out there. He's not 100%. He's not 100% practice, but he has pushed through. But we've tried to hold him back when we can. You know, try to take him out some plays here and there. And he knows why. Obviously, I hope everybody else knows why that we're holding him back. But yeah, heck of a kid. Great locker room guy too. Always joking with the guys. You know, even when he's hurt, he's still down there pushing people, still one of the top guys in laps and things like that. So I've always told people since I've met him his freshman year, his freshman year, that he could be one of the best, if not the best, to ever play through, you know, these walls. And I still do believe that. I still believe if he's 100% and he's going 100%, then no one can stop him. I mean, I've seen it over and over and over. So, you know, this year we got a couple weeks left, and hopefully he can still make some plays, but hopefully he can heal his foot up, and next year, you know, just have one of those dominating years, and hopefully be physically 100% the entire year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've told him numerous times at the house or in the garage, you know, I know that he plays 1 or 2 as hard as he can, and then 3 and 4 not as hard, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes I've seen that. If you weren't so big, I'd probably throw you down on the floor there in the garage and give you whipping. But,
well, that's why I thought this year, you know, his conditioning wise, he was really pushing himself.
Yeah.
I think to get to that point where he could go 100% of plays.
Yeah.
And I really could see that. And that's why as coaches, we talked about it, I said, Ashley's going to be a force this year. Not just 1 or 2 plays, it's going to be every play. And that injury is just, it's setting back. That's why I said, hopefully we can get that thing healed up for next year and you know, have a great senior year. But we still got 2 games of football, and you know, there's still games this year he's dominated even at 70-80%. So I'm hoping to see that again Friday night.
Yeah, sure is a pleasure watching him, man.
Yeah.
Just the technique, and we've never really seen that here. You know what I mean? Like true technique. It's a beautiful sight to see. You know, when he drops back, for sure. Buddy, that's it. You want to answer any more questions?
If you don't, so
So Wyatt Cohen was supposed to be on the show as well, so we talked maybe about asking Wyatt's questions, letting Ashton answer and just kind of finish off his head on him, see how good he does.
Yeah. He was a kicker his freshman year. What about 3 or 4 games, right? Yeah.
I think you can handle him, dude.
You want to kick Friday?
no. I ain't kicked since my freshman year. Bad idea.
Bad idea. All right, buddy, listen, I appreciate you taking your time out of your evening to spend with us. Truly a pleasure sitting down and talking to you, and good luck tomorrow night.
Thank you.
We'll take a short break, and when we return, we'll go over a few of the highlights from last week's Toronto football game. The Knolls get a 4th down stop.
Great push by the defensive line, allowing for the stop.
Cooper Howe to Max Demchek.
Nice route by Max, and Cooper hits him in stride.
Cooper and Max once again for the first Seminole touchdown of the evening.
Another great throw and catch.
The Seminoles get the first turnover of the night.
Carter Fry with the big hit, and Lucas Stiver grabs the loose ball.
Another touchdown connection, Cooper to Max.
Max makes a great adjustment to the ball and takes it in.
Stiver with the stop for no gain.
Stiver steps down and gets the tackle.
Drew Longfeld and Carter Fry with the tackle for a loss.
Great technique by Drew, allowing him to get the tackle in the backfield.
Cooper Howe with the tackle for a loss.
Cooper comes off the edge and gets the stop.
Cooper gave in.
Cooper does a great job of scrambling and locating Ing for the catch.
Gave in with the pass deflection.
Great pressure up front on the quarterback and great coverage by Gabe.
Another Howe to Demchek connection.
A great deep ball by Cooper.
Cooper Howe punches it in.
Great push from the offensive line, allowing for the rushing touchdown.
Jet Kaiser with the tackle at the line of scrimmage.
Jet does a nice job of reading the play, stepping up, and getting the stop for no gain.
A.J. Rudder with a long kickoff return.
Great blocks in the middle, and A.J. finds the lane.
Coop to Corbin for a big gain.
Corbin runs a crossing route, and Cooper hits him in stride.
When we return, we will preview this week's opponent, the 5-1 Cameron Dragons. Welcome back to the show. Coach, week 9. Got Cameron Dragons. They sit 5-1 coming to town long. They're bringing a lot of talent. This team was a state runner-up last year. Returned their quarterback, who's a really, really good athlete. So, what else can we expect from the Dragons?
Yeah, you mentioned their quarterback. I mean, he's their main guy. I don't. If he's not a 4-year starter, he's been a 3-year starter for sure. Angel kid, really tough kid. Kind of a, he's well put together. It kind of reminds me of Tucker Howe body-wise. Runs the ball well, throws the ball well. Even when he scrambles, he keeps his eyes down the field. But yeah, it's our last new team on the schedule. So we've never played Cameron. The youth have always played him. I think junior high is playing him this year. But it should be a fun one. There's alumni night coming up. It'll be tomorrow night. So you got all those guys coming back, the 95, 75 team, and usually we've got some other alumni come back for that evening. So this Cameron team, they lost a few seniors last year. They lost a couple of linemen and some running backs, so they're not maybe quite as good as they were, but they're still pretty good. They've only lost one game, and it was a 14-12 game. They could have easily won that. So they could be sitting undefeated. But yeah, I look forward to it. I like playing new opponents, especially at home. They've never been here. They don't, understand maybe what Knowles football is all about. But it reminds me a little bit of a Shenandoah situation where I think we can run the ball on them. I'm not saying score-wise, but I think we can run the ball because they're a little bit smaller on the line of scrimmage and things like that. So hopefully we can run right at them. Same kind of deal as Shenandoah. But yeah, they run like 4-4 defense. The Angel boy plays center field safety. He doesn't allow much behind him, so should be fun. I mean, we got to keep the quarterback contained and the running back. The one running back there is a pretty shifty kid.
Yeah.
So keep those guys contained. I think if we control the line of scrimmage, and we've mentioned so many times on this show about running the ball. I do like to run the ball, so that's what I think we need to do. Don't get me wrong, I'll pass if we have to. If they load the box and we have to pass, I'll pass. But if we can control the line of scrimmage, run the ball, get 5-6 yards, it takes a lot of high school teams and deflates them. If you can do that over and over and over and over and over. So that'll be our game plan as far as that goes tomorrow night. So now I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. I watched just bits and pieces of the River Cameron game
Yeah.
down there. That number one kid, the quarterback, the Angel kid, he is an athlete. He's all over the field. As a matter of fact, he returned a punt from deep in.
Well, that's a fake
It
punt.
was a fake punt. That's right.
Fake punt
Fake
from around 15,
Yeah, so the
he
kid
85 yards.
Yeah, the kid punts as well.
He just took off, he must have his own call,
Yeah.
you know, if they come down inside, and he just took off.
Right down the sideline.
Yeah.
Untouched,
Yeah.
virtually.
Yeah,
He's quick, and that number one, the running back, is
Yeah.
a hard-nosed,
yes, he is,
hard-nosed kid, built
Yeah.
almost like a fullback.
yeah.
A really nice kid, but yeah, as you mentioned, man, it'd be great to pull off a victory tomorrow. There will be a ton of people here, traveling from out of town back home for alumni weekend, and they want to see some Knowles football.
That's right.
How it used to be in the past for certain. But wish you nothing but the best of luck tomorrow night.
Thank you.
Let's take another short break, and then we'll come back with a little bit of game information and wrap up this evening's show. All right, everyone, before we wrap up this evening's show, just share a little info with you on tomorrow night's big football game against the Cameron Dragons. Tomorrow night we'll be honoring the 1975 and the 1995 teams. As a result of alumni night, there'll be a lot of festivities throughout the weekend as well. Saturday night, the WHS MCHS Football Scholarship Alumni Committee, which Coach and I are both a part of, we'll have our biggest fundraiser of the year. It'll be out at the Moose Lodge. Several raffles and giveaways and auctions, and it's a really good time. And come out and support.
Still plenty of tickets left.
Yeah, still plenty of tickets. And just to give everybody just a quick rundown of what we do. This started 5 years ago. 25 of us, ex-football players, each threw in $100 apiece. And a couple other people chipped in some more, and we gave away $4,000 in year one scholarships. And since then we've continued to build. So after 5 years, we've given away $62,000 in scholarships. And the majority of the scholarships given away go to graduating North Central football players that move on to college, the armed services, beautician school, training. If you want to continue your education, we're here to support you for sure. Enough of that, Coach. Tickets will be sold at the gate. They'll be 50-50 as well. And as always, don't forget sausage sandwiches tomorrow night in the lot across here from the field house. I figure we'll have a big crowd. I know a lot of people usually come over alumni weekend, kind of hang out, reminisce about old times and what have you. Football moms, the busiest group in the entire program. You sell programs at the gate for $5. What else they do? Game ball tickets. They sell apparel. And they also sell field goal contest tickets. Coach, let's talk about that. Got a big winner, didn't
Yeah, David Spiel.
David Spielman
First winner.
drove straight home from work in FR jeans and boots and kicked the 25-yard field goal.
Could have been good for another 10 or
Pretty
something.
impressive. Yeah, we might have him double up this week. If no one buys any tickets, David, you're up, buddy. A 40-yard field goal.
Double or nothing. The quilt.
Yeah, the quilt. I don't know if everyone's seen the quilt, Coach. Have you had it on there?
I'll put a picture on it here after we talk about it, but it's, it's a one of a kind. When I first came in here, I found, numerous old nameplates, just from random nameplates that were left over, a lot of different ones. And we had someone make a quilt of them and, add some borders and things like that. It turned out great. Stephen Powell's grandmother actually did it for us, donated her time. But yeah, I think tickets are $10 a piece, and we'll be selling those before the game. And we're actually drawing that quilt at halftime of this game. So if you want a ticket, now's the time to get one.
Perfect. I know a guy that's got a ton of tickets in there.
I know. He says he's going to win.
I hope he does. we're pulling for you, Darren.
Yeah.
One last thing, game ball sponsor. Tomorrow night's game ball sponsor will be the Woodsfield Eagles. So thank you Rick Ship and the company for donation. The Eagles and Moose, the VFW coach,
Yeah.
every year, whatever we need, they come front and center. So thank you guys very, very much. Some key dates the upcoming week. 3rd and 4th grade, they advanced to the second round of the Youth League playoffs, and they'll play October 18th, 3:30 at River, against River.
Yep.
Hey, congratulations to them.
Yeah.
Coach, got any final comments?
You know, just like every week, you can't even explain Friday nights, honestly, high school football, especially around here in the valley. Not just Woodsfield, not just Monroe Central, but in the valley. It's just such an exciting time, and it even makes it better when you have like the alumni weekend, events like this where some of the ex-highs can come back and talk to the kids and watch the games, get excited. But no, I honestly can't wait for Friday nights. Every week, look forward to, even before I was coaching or anything like that, I just look forward to them. So should be a fun one with Cameron coming in here, being 5-1 and never being here before and things like that. And, DJ Danner's coming. I don't know if anyone's heard of him. He does like a live show and kind of hypes up the game. He's got some big trophy, West Virginia High, Ribbon Trophy.
He actually does the OVAC cheer competition, and man, he's great at what he does.
He's like a hype man.
Yeah.
That's what he does. And so he'll be on the sidelines filming things and talking to players afterwards. And if you win the trophy, I guess you get to keep it for a year at your school. They engrave your name on, or the school name, things like that. But I'm looking forward to it. Should be fun. I always have a good time on my weekend with the guys coming home. So hopefully we can play some Knowles football.
Yeah, and you're right too, Coach, about Ohio Valley football, because the trip to Toronto, an hour and a half, hour and 40 minutes, whatever it took, it kind of, I'm assuming, kind of pulled a lot of people away, too far. But we did have a fairly decent crowd, to travel that distance. But you drive up Route 7, you drive by Shadyside, you see their lights on, Bel Air, Ferry,
You can see
Buckeye
John
Local.
Marshall coming up.
John Marshall. It's this entire valley is just ate up trying to see football, and it's great because I love football.
That's
You know
right.
what I mean?
I do
Couldn't
too.
ask me anything else.
I do too.
All right, everyone. That's a wrap on this episode. As always, join us next Thursday night at 9 p.m. It'll be me and this guy right here. We'll be talking about our win against Cameron Dragons. Go Knowles.